The Trump administration is purging all members of one of the key federal agencies that was expected to advise the East Wing Ballroom project. Yesterday, the White House fired all 6 members of the Commission of Fine Arts, the independent agency established by Congress to assist the president on design and preservation in the nation's capital. All of the members who were on the commission had been chosen by President Biden. They will need to be replaced with new appointees from President Trump. The purge comes as the White House prepares to present plans for several ambitious construction projects, including an archway at the entrance to the city and the president's $300 million ballroom that saw the tearing down of the entire East Wing of the White House to make room for it. Joining us now, senior editor at Intelligencer at New York Magazine, Margaret Hartman. Her new piece is a deep dive into the plans and costs of the White House Ballroom project, asking and answering questions like, is this effort illegal? Who actually owns the White House? And is President Trump paying for this venture at all? Where do we begin? Margaret, you choose.
So Margaret, first of all, you said this actually, a lot of us were surprised. One day, he's talking about it. The next day, the East Wing is completely torched, taken to the ground. But you say he's been talking about this for a while.
Yes. Well, he's been talking about this specific build since at least June. He announced it on Truth Social, and I started following it and writing about it. And then in July, he had Carolyn Levitt gave a whole little press conference about it, but it was only about 3 minutes. She waved around some artist renderings, and she released a little information on it, but it still wasn't clear the scope of the project at the time.
So let's talk about who's paying for the project, because you said, don't worry, no taxpayer money is being used here. Who actually is funding this? And then the next question is, what access does that provide those people?
Right. So he's always said that he's paying for it and presented it like, oh, I'm this magnanimous builder, and isn't this such a great thing? But he's had a history of doing this in the past, where he presents as his own charity when he's actually kind of funneling donations from other people through his own charities. So who's actually contributing? They've just released a list of 37 companies and people who are donating. So that includes Google, Apple, Lockheed Martin, Howard Lutnick, the Winklevi twins,
the twins.
People.
There we go. We got the twins involved in the project.
Yeah, so
Comcast, we have to point out.
Yes.
Comcastic.
Yes. So they just released that list after pressure when people saw the photos of the East Wing actually coming down, being reduced to rubble. But we don't know exactly what Trump is donating. We know he gave the money he won from a settlement with YouTube after they banned him for his J6 commentary. So we don't know. Is that all the money he's giving? Is he giving more? What did these people have worked with the government? So do they feel pressure that they had to donate? So we don't really know yet.
So I think what took a lot of people by surprise is just how fast this all happened. It was a matter of days and the East Wing was gone. And a question that I keep getting is people are wondering, like, well, he's allowed to do this? So walk us through the process as to, I mean, this is the people's house.
Yes.
And seemingly on a whim, the President of the United States said, let's get rid of half of it.
Yes.
That's okay?
So it's kind of symbolic of everything that's been happening. We're relying on norms a little bit. Like, nobody had the imagination to think like, well, what would happen if, Obama wanted to bulldoze the West Wing? Like, nobody thought that would ever come up. So we have all these laws, and it's supposed to go through a series of review by preservation committees. So conveniently, Trump appointed his own top advisor to lead one of the main preservation committees in July. And his name's Will Scharf. And he said that they don't have any jurisdiction until construction starts. Right. So apparently Trump can just knock down anything
he can tear down what he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they only get involved at the construction phase.
Okay. So is it just a ballroom, or is there more to it? Do we know? Is there something above it?
Below
it? There is a bunker below. That's why they actually built it originally. They started building it under Teddy Roosevelt's administration, and then I believe under FDR's administration, they were added the office buildings over the top, because there's the bunker where they whisked Cheney down there on 9/11. And so we don't really know. That's part of the reason people were so confused. They originally said, oh, well, the East Wing offices are going to be modernized. but we'll also have this ballroom here. And it's just illustrations. They're pretty, but he's just gesturing at illustrations.
Do the twins and donors like Comcast, do they require any information in exchange for apparently funding this?
I don't think so. They got some kind of agreement or contract that referred to the Donald J. Trump ballroom. He's denied it'll be named after him, but maybe, people
So the question is, too, are we going to see the plans? Are the American people going to see the plans? Is Congress going to see the plans? Are we going to know about the bunker?
Yeah.
Are we going to know everything that's going to be in I will say, the People's White House?
Well, Scharf said that they're eager to review at the appropriate time. So who knows what the appropriate time is? This should have actually taken years. And in August, there were still reports saying, well, he says construction is starting in the fall, but how could that possibly be? Because just building a fence of the White House or adding new lines to a tennis court would take a year as it worked its way through this multi-board review process. And so how is he just going to start construction? Well, it turns out if you don't really follow that process and don't ask permission, you can just start bulldozing the East Wing and it's gone.
What do we know, if anything, about the scope of larger plans that have been involved and talked about? For instance, there's been talk about the president wanting to build a memorial bridge as you head towards Arlington National Cemetery, a huge, Arc de
an Arc de Triomphe there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we know
it's
about
already
this?
been nicknamed the Arc de Triomphe. So he actually had little models of that he was showing off to ballroom donors at a dinner, thanking them for their contributions.
And then asked, do you like the small, the middle, or the large? I like the large.
Yeah,
what a
everybody
shock.
likes the large.
Like the large.
We like the large, sir.
Yeah, so
There's tears in her eyes.
Tears from his eyes, and said, sir, we like the biggest one.
yeah, so he has a lot of plans to kind of Mar-a-Lago-tize the whole Washington area. We've seen him going through the White House and adding gold to everything. He paved over the Rose Garden. He's now branding it as the Rose Garden Club, similar to the Mar-a-Lago Club. So, yeah, it's unclear when he's going to stop. He really seems to want to leave his mark on the space in a way he didn't in his first administration.
And as you report, there is this National Capital Planning Commission that's supposed to approve federal construction, especially at somewhere like the White House. Since that's been completely ignored, the concern now is there anything in his way for whatever the next idea is if he wants to tear down a monument or something?
I mean, certainly we have a Congress that I think could do something or pass laws, but would they? I don't think so. So it seems he's found a loophole here, and there's really no one to stop him unless there's some kind of huge public outcry that he responds to. And I believe there was a poll that showed 50% of Americans are against this. So,
The new deep dive into the Trump Ballroom Project is online now. Senior editor for Intelligencer at New York Magazine, Margaret Hartman, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to your mom as well.
Thank you.
Hi, Marge.
Mika got you some merch.
We got
Complete
Marge
new
a mug.
yeah.
Thank you for watching.